Welcome back to Mayor's Monday on WSAU.com. Mayor Robert Mielke of the city of Wausau. Mr. Mayor, it might not be the easiest Mayor Monday we've ever had for you, but we'll try to keep it going.
No,
I don't know. That's your call, I guess. My first question, what's probably on everybody's mind, the future of the Sears property. Micon Cinemas not coming to town,
not necessarily so.
Oh, I see. So you've continued to be in contact with them, and they may be looking at somewhere else in the city?
Sure. Well, one, obviously it's a disappointment, but my thing is, personally, on several different reasons why we brought this forward, kind of let the cat out of the bag to the media so that residents, number one, would know what was happening. Two, we were kind of surprised in mid-August, like, we should have had a deal, what's going on, what's happening. And frankly, we needed to move forward one way or the other. Be if it was coming or if not, what the snag is, see if we could fix that problem, and then move forward one way or the other. Okay, so they're not coming, at least to the Sears Center. Between Rialto Capital and Micon, they just couldn't get it together. The city of Wausau is partners with both of these entities. And the thing is, with Micon, there's other locations throughout the city, be it on the west side, maybe downtown, another location. And this is all very, very, very preliminary as far as talking to them. And I still like to see a theater in Wausau. A lot of residents do. Almost everything that I heard is, they appreciated the effort that the city had tried on. They really appreciated the openness that we got it out there, okay, and just to let people know what's happening. And also with Rialto, we are still in a position, at least with the Sears building. We are partners together, and we'll see what we can do with that facility. I had asked / kind of demanded that, I'd like to get some marketing help from them at no cost to the city, and they have agreed to that. We'll see what happens. There's still an entity or two that we're still talking to as far as possibly going into the old Sears building. As well as that, if that doesn't fly, then by the end of the year, we'll open up for RFP again. Request for proposals, excuse me.
Sure. My next question then would be, Rialto Capital seems to be the party that held this up. They seem to be the people that have, they prevented the movie theater deal from happening.
Let's just say they had concerns. Micon, in turn, ended up having concerns. In my situation, I'm not here to blame anybody or anything like that. That's not going to solve anything. Remember, we at the city have to work with these individuals.
Sure, and
still want to, because the mall, whether people believe it or not, is an important part of the downtown. It still contributes a lot. Sure, we all have our concerns, but for the foreseeable future, we're going to see what we can do to make it work.
And on that note, has there been anything that they've brought to you for the mall and for the mall's future that you see as a good potential for the space? I mean, have they suggested anything for the Sears space? How are things going with the office space now in the JCPenney end?
At this point, they're still trying to talk with the individuals involved that have been interested in that here. That's just been recent. I know those talks are still ongoing. As far as for Sears and everything, now that the theater isn't coming, it's still we're starting anew, so to speak. But yet, like I said, there have been entities before that had expressed an interest. We have been in contact with them. It's kind of a wait and see type of thing.
Okay.
At this time. When something happens, I'll let you know.
Sure.
Like I always do.
Moving on, definitely not an easy topic. The Village of Maine and the town of Texas, they have gotten some help from the state. Senator Jerry Petrusky has arranged for them to receive about $2.5 million in aid to help with a tremendous amount of the debt left over.
They also got some help from Senator Baldwin too on the federal levels, if I'm correct. So.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
That was a while ago. It's common,
I know that she has been in that area in the past, and she was definitely concerned about what was going on there after the paper mill left. So that's not a huge surprise to me. But my point is, there are dollars coming into that area now to help relieve the debt. The boundary agreement could very well be officially supported by the Marathon County Board in the coming days. So my question to you is, with all of these things seemingly going against the city of Wausau's lawsuit, what what more motivation is there for the lawsuit to continue? And I know that in the past you've said it's not necessarily your call.
Well, it's kind of funny that you had mentioned that, because after that had happened with Senator Petrowski, and we could see dollars coming from the state on that. I have spoken with the council president, and we will be meeting in the future on the 24th. It will be on the agenda as far as talking to the council, seeing what their thoughts are. I have said publicly I do not like this lawsuit, but I understand the reasons, if you will, and why it was pursued like it was by council members. I was a little surprised at how long it had taken, and I understand fighting for principles too. The Village of Maine may not like this as much as I try to reach out and be a broker of peace, if you want to call it that. There's different things that they could have done better too, in a legal sense. Okay, this is where we're at right now. Basically, I want to get together with council and gauge their feelings. Where do we go from here? And at that time, I'm going to share my thoughts and my views, which I think are pretty well known. And we'll hopefully see what happens after that meeting on the 24th. But it will be in closed session.
Okay. And finally, the smoking ban that is possibly coming to the public parks of the city of Wausau.
Sure.
Obviously, it has to pass through the full council, but the Parks and Recreation Committee has already passed it. Initially, when they brought this up, I think in September or August, they kind of came to the agreement, or at least most of them did, that you didn't want to legislate something that wasn't a problem yet. But then, only a month later, here they are passing the resolution, and it's going to
it kind of
council.
has gotten to be a problem. That depends on what's your definition of a problem. If you're having a crew clean up for 3 hours the following morning after an event because of all the cigarette butts over there, because of some of the residents that like to hang out over by the side of the park. Also in the interest of public safety, not only for somebody possibly getting hurt or getting burned, but the secondhand smoke. We're kind of following a lead, if you will, from bigger cities like Minneapolis, Chicago, Houston, New York. They've all banned smoking in their public parks. Now, I'm sure it's open for debate. It's not that big government wants to take care of everybody. It really is generally a public health concern. But also, too, it's one of those things, you have a select few that I'm trying to word my words carefully here. It's really not going to impact that many people. Less and less people smoke nowadays. But basically, it's from a public health and safety concern. That's the reason why it has been brought forward to the Parks and Rec Committee. We'll be coming forward before council here soon. I expect it will probably pass.
Okay.
Any other questions? Lay it on.
Yeah,
this has not been a bad one at all.
Only one more.
Okay.
How's the budget? How are things coming, and when do you think you'll have it done?
I'm on track right now to get the budget going. It is a challenge. We didn't get. It's getting tougher and tougher with the lack of funding that we used to receive as any city or village or board would have received for community throughout Wisconsin. Be it from the state or the federal side, that's just life. You got to deal with it. From the city standpoint, we've done things as far as to try to save money. We don't fill positions when people retire. I'll use that as an example. We're not spending money on consultants, etc. Trying to find different ways to save money and yet provide the same services that, frankly, people demand and expect. And I say this respectfully, people can't have it both ways. The good news is, in regards for this budget, we're on track. I do anticipate a small increase. It's just the way things are between everything with health insurance and different services and the cost of new machinery. For a number of years, we put stuff off for a long time to be either repaired or end up being replaced. Last year, we took care of a big portion of that. This year, I'm hoping to kind of follow up and take care of what we need to, within reason. The department heads have been outstanding as far as, like I said back in July when we first started, make your request for what you really need. And there have been things that I've tossed out. We're going to go through that some more. We've got one more meeting as far as the budget itself next Tuesday. We're on track to get it decided, if you will, by November. I do anticipate a small increase, but really nothing that's going to break the bank. Although some people out there say we should never have higher taxes. It's not for lack of trying. But realistically, that's just not the real world.
Sure.
And if you look at any other community around us, everybody's going to have a small percentage rate, including us, is what I'm anticipating at this point. What I'm still trying to do right now, and we have one more budget meeting to decide, try to find any way we can as far as saving money. Because, you know, you got to be responsible with taxpayers' money, and I believe we have been. But also, folks, you got to be realistic, too.
Yeah.
I guess that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. Well, we'll leave you to that. Thank you for your time this week.
Anytime, Zach. Thanks for coming in.